Mr. Chris Moore.
That's it.
World famous, fantastic photographer.
That sounds nice.
Catwalking.com.
Catwalking.com, most important, where it all happens.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, tell us about your experience as a graduate fashion.
Well,
graduate,
the one in the Hippodrome. Do you know? I'm not sure if I did. Gosh,
I think it
was it? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I can't remember it terribly well. I think there was a lot of vodka involved. But yes, I did do the Hippodrome one, and then there was Islington in the design centre.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can fill in my words because it's very useful, which I like very much. That was great. Not quite as hot as here.
No, it's become much bigger. We've got about 49 colleges taking part this week, haven't we?
Yes.
And I think the work of 25,000 students is going to be seen.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely. And such high standards.
Absolutely.
You know, really marvellous. I mean, the shows that have been on today have just been very, very, very high standard. Very, very good.
Now, what's it like for you in the pit, so to speak? Because your job is to take those fantastic catwalk photos.
The pit is worse, of course, when you do ready-to-wear in places like Milan and Paris, where there's less room and it's very, very competitive. Thankfully, Graduate Fashion Week is very pleasant to do, and we all know each other and we help each other, and so it's not so bad. In fact, it's very, very good.
Is it a good place, do you reckon, for other photographers to cut their catwalk teeth?
I would say it's one of the best places to cut your teeth and practice with your camera and try new cameras, which is what I've been doing today. I've got a new camera and I'm trying it out today. I've got my backup with me in case something goes wrong, but it is a very good place to do that.
Do you have a preferred camera that you use?
I use a Nikon.
Yeah.
A Nikon D2XS is the one I've been trying out, and I found that very, very good.
Do you find that you upgrade your cameras a lot, or is this something that you do?
Since we've gone digital, definitely. Prior to that, when we were on film cameras, when I was on film cameras years ago, they lasted much longer. But now it's all built-in obsolescence, and I suppose we have new cameras certainly every 2 years. Whereas before they would last for perhaps 5 or 6 or until they was pinched or lost.
And back in the days when you were using film, how quickly did you have to turn those films around?
Well, just as quickly as possible. In the really old days, I used to shoot mostly black and white for the papers who didn't have colour, and I developed in the bathroom at the hotel, and I had an enlarger I took with me and printing trays, and I used to do the prints in the hotel. And there was one tragic time when I actually stained the bath very brown, and it must have been all right because I still go to the same hotel. I've been there for 50 years.
That must have been physically quite challenging as well. I mean, to carry that much kit around.
Yes. Yeah, well, I used to take the car everywhere, of course.
Right.
This is something I don't do now, but one used to pile up, put everything in the back of the car, and off one went. A bit like potato picking. Or hop picking, you know, one would go from field to field, except we go from catwalk venue to catwalk venue.
Are there any favourite shows that you've done from this last season at Fashion Week? Did you enjoy the Ashish show, the one in that was at Heaven, the double back on traditional Ashish?
Oh yes, that was amazing. Very, very difficult to shoot, mind you. Very low light. But I enjoyed it, yes. Very, very good.
This is something that does crop up for a lot of people, is when you get to a venue, you have to sort out immediately your lighting and your position and so on.
Right.
Is there anything that the organisers could do, generally speaking, to make it easier for photographers?
I think they perhaps shouldn't make it too easy for photographers, because otherwise we'd be bored to death. We need a challenge, and it's good to have a challenge, and it's good to be alive and ready to change film, or as we don't use film, we have to put the white balance into the back of our digital cameras. That again, having a digital camera, you don't have to keep changing from artificial film to daylight. It's good that you actually have it all keyed in the back of your camera.
Is it now very competitive because everybody's shooting digitally? Is it more difficult to make your work different?
It's certainly, everyone is taking photographs now, from the doctor to the dentist, the tailor, the sailor. So it is competitive, but then again, this is life. So we just have to learn to live with it.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Wonderful. We are here with Steve Mahoney, who is a media consultant and is, well, basically Mr. Fashion. I don't think there's an event that we barely go to where we don't come across Stephen.
That's true. We try our level best to be everywhere.
Absolutely.
And see everything and discover new, innovative talent. That's our job.
Which is why you're here today.
Yes, and it's a must for anybody working in the fashion industry to find out what graduates are up to.
Let's have a walk around the stand while we got you then, because this is quite an interesting thing for people to see. Each college, each institution has to represent their students, and they find different ways of doing it.
This one to me is really on target because it's got the very high waist, narrow pants. You know, the low slung is really dead, and I'm so glad when you see the young, they really are on target there. Great. And this one to me, I love that kind of swirly 60s print on that kind of skirt because it's short but not vulgar. Vulgar is not nice on any girl. I don't think so.
Regardless of age, isn't that right, Stephen?
Yeah. And then this one, I find this
crystal chairs. Yeah, what's that? Gingham or seersucker? What's that?
It looks
fabric?
like seersucker to me. But it's hard to, when you've got a picture, that's why it's always good to come to these shows. When you see the collection and the young designers' fabric they're using, because unfortunately most of them have very little budget because of the cuts. So that's when their creativity really comes to the forefront, because they are able to make the best out of the worst kind of fabric, which is cool.
They're self-financed basically, aren't they?
Almost all of them are. And then what I like, that's when it's really challenging. And we find out if they really are creative. When you meet the rich student, they've bought the best silk chiffon from God knows wherever, and it is beautiful. But then you look at the garment and the idea, there's nothing really exciting there. It's just the fabric's beautiful and it's been bought and they have the money. I put people together. I put Thomas Heatherwick with Longchamp when he did the bag, and we did the shop in New York, and then the committee with Thomas Good on. So I'm looking for people to put together. So he wants to work in Savile Row. I've been recommended that his product is very good.
We loved him, I've got to say. Mr. Dowie, with
we
thumbs
like
up.
him, so I'm going to talk to him. I've met somebody else who's what I tried to do, get a cross section. 4 people have mentioned him today. 4 people that I trust. So I'm going to I made an appointment to see him at 4:30. I'm going to go on his stand and talk to him, and then I'm going to take him to Savile Row to some of the people I know in Savile Row, and maybe I can get him a job there.
Fantastic. This is a man who can really make things happen, and students should be very pleased to see you. If this man approaches your stand or comes to talk to you about your work, give him some time. Thanks very much, Stephen.
Thank you very much.
See you later on.